Hello students. In continuation with the last video, I will begin with the next part of the poem, the following lines after line number 20. She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whatever she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. Sir, it was all one, my favour at her breast, the dropping of the daylight in the west, the bough of cherries some officious fool broke in the orchard for her, the white mule she rode with round the terrace, all and each would draw from her alike the approving speech, or blush at least. She thanked men, good, but thanked somehow, I know not how, as if she ranked my gift of a 900 years old name with anybody's gift. Now, just note the meanings of a few words in these particular lines. Officious fool. Officious means a person who gives importance to self, a person who interferes with the matters of other person without any authentic invitation. Now we have to notice the line which says, my gift of a 900 years old name. Now this particular line is symbolic of Duke's aristocratic ancestry. Okay. Now I have covered line number 21 to 34 and I'll just give you the explanation of these lines now. The Duke, while explaining the nature of his Duchess, now says that as a matter of fact, the Duchess had a simple, innocent nature, ready to respond to even little acts of courtesy, and was easily pleased even by trifles. She was so sensitive that even little acts of ordinary courtesy were sufficient to make her blush. She liked everything she looked at, and she looked at all things. She could not judge and distinguish between what was really worthwhile and what was not. She had no discrimination or sense of right and wrong. The ornaments which he presented to her and which she wore on her breast, the beautiful sunset in the western sky, a branch laden with cherries from the garden presented to her by some foolish admirer, the white mule on which she used to ride on the terrace, each one of such trifles would draw thanks and appreciation from her. Even when she did not express her pleasure in such things in words, she would at least blush with pleasure and thus show her appreciation. The last Duchess was simple, innocent, and frank-hearted. She thought there was no harm in thanking those who showed even a trifling courtesy. She would appreciate even the slightest courtesy shown to her. The Duke did not like this. His pride was hurt. She was married to a duke whose family's history could be traced back to 900 years. He belonged to a noble and ancient family of Italy. As his Duchess, she ought to have behaved with respectable dignity, but she was not at all conscious of the honor he had bestowed upon her by marrying her. She could not differentiate between the gift of rank and position that he had given her and the petty trifles that others presented to her. She thanked everybody in the same way. The Duke is critical of the conduct of his last Duchess and considers it unbecoming and frivolous. In his opinion, she lacked in dignity and intelligence. Now we'll move to the following lines. Line number 35 to 43. Who would stoop to blame this sort of trifling? Even had you skill in speech, which I have not, to make your will quite clear to such an one, and say, just this or that in you disgusts me. Here you miss, or there exceed the mark. And if she let herself be lessoned so, not plainly set her wits to yours, forsooth, and made excuse, even then would be some stooping, and I choose never to stoop. Now, in these particular lines, the Duke tells the messenger that his last Duchess had the childish habit of thanking everybody. There was no harm in thanking others as such, but she failed to distinguish between the valuable gifts given to her by him, that is the Duke, and the ordinary acts of courtesy done by others. The Duke further says that he did not try to correct her and put an end to her foolishness in thanking everybody because he thought it below his dignity to take note of her childish conduct. Moreover, he does not have the gift of fine speaking, which orators have. He does not have sufficient skill in speaking, and so could not have brought home to his wife, even if he had tried, her follies, her mistakes in thanking everybody without discrimination. She was so childish that she would never have understood what displeased him. She would never have realized that in certain matters she failed, and in certain other respects she went beyond limits. Thus, she failed in maintaining the dignity of his noble family, and she exceeded all limits in thanking others. Moreover, she was so childish that she would never have indulged in argumentation and discussion. She would have tried to justify herself and given reason for her conduct, even if he had the necessary skill and even if she were ready to be instructed by him. He would have considered it a loss of dignity on his part to have corrected her. He therefore decided not to come down even a little. That's all for this particular lecture. I'll continue with the concluding part of this poem in the next video. Thank you.